Welcome to 2D Electrical Drafting. We have an overview video to give you an overall sense of what the programs, the tools are capable of doing. Please watch that first. This is the second of a series of in-depth command reviews. Today we're going to cover join fixture whips, the second command down on the commands menu. The easiest way to get started here is to look at the ribbon. There's commands on here that are going to be used. First, let's just look at hooking up a light. Over here we have junction boxes. Place the junction box. Over here we have two different kinds of whips. This one in the middle says flexible conduit, and this one says fixture whip master satellite pair. If you hover over those, and you can barely see a difference. There's a little F in the middle of that one, and this one doesn't have it. So if you hit the flexible whip and pick in the circles, they get connected together. Now don't focus right now on the fact that this goes back and forth like this, or that there's thickness to this conduit. Those things are customizable in our options box. We'll cover that later. So there we connected our first light. Here we can make it a master satellite pair and click there and click from the center of the circle over to here, and they get connected again. Get connected, and again, don't focus on the fact that it goes back and forth here. I'll show you how to control those, or the fact that there's an F there. All that's controllable. We're just connecting these up. There's another type of junction box here. It says junction box at midpoint. So if you click on that one and turn your snaps on, you can pick 2 points and it puts it in at the midpoint. Another way of doing that is through AutoCAD. You click a normal junction box, and then I think it's MTP, and yeah, so normal AutoCAD does that also. We have a different button for it. I think we wrote that at the time. We didn't know there was a snap for midpoint. MTP is midpoint between 2 points, MTP. So put the box in and then connect the whips like that. We also have this over here. This is just an arc. It says fixture whip to master, to independent or master. It doesn't go back and forth like the other one does. So we can make this one come out looking just like that one if we want it to. But if you want two different kinds of whips, we have these two different kind available right there. And again, the thicknesses are not important. So that's one way to think of it in getting started. Now if we go to use the actual program and click on that, there's no dialog box with this. So down here on the command line it says select next input point, and it all depends on the order of what you select things in. So if I want to connect this fixture to that junction box, I just select them, hit enter, and they're connected. I'm going to erase that and do it again and show you that it doesn't matter what order you do it in. You can do the fixture first and then the box, and they're connected. I'm going to erase that and start it over again and show you the master satellite pair that we did before using the independent commands. I picked the box, I picked the fixtures, they're connected. The only way that this mattered, the order, was that the first fixture that I picked was going to be the master. So if I went from here over to here and then here, the master is over here. If I pick from here to the box, that one between the closest, the fixture and the box is the master. And if I do it the other order, the master's over here. Okay. So let's think about doing two pairs now. So start the command, pick the fixtures, pick the box, pick the next fixture, and hit enter. And those two, this one is independent, and that's a master and satellite pair. I'm just going to hit undo on that one. If I started with the independent and went to the box, doesn't matter. There you go. So if you pick, and pick, then you get two master satellite pairs. Now I'm going to erase the box and start to show you how the program can drop the boxes in automatically. Let's start the program and pick two fixtures, and they're both independents with a box placed midway in between. Now, what if you wanted to do just what we did before here? Let's place a box and let's join up an independent. Oops, that's not going to work. Oh, I can explain that later. I missed is what happened. But the program was actually doing something and was working. So how do I get this to happen? By not starting with the box put in. Just an independent to a box. Here's how you do it. Start the program, and I want to put the box right here. And so I can come out here and select the intersection points and then hit enter. And the box got dropped between the two intersection points. Okay? So if I wanted to do it again and start from here to here and then go to the fixture, I could hit enter right now and I get the same thing as I did before, but now I'm going to go over here and show you that I got a master satellite pair with the box dropped where I wanted it to. Okay. Now I can, just like before, I can click all four fixtures and the box got dropped halfway between the two masters. Okay, hope that's making sense. And if I wanted to do an independent and a master satellite pair, I could click here, and I could click here and the box would get dropped right here, but I could also control where the box goes and click over here and then click down here and the box got put out there. Okay, let's undo that and start over. I could also change the order. Let's click here and then let's put the box out here. So it's going to drop right here. And now let me pick this fixture and this fixture. And you see I got the box put where I wanted it to, and it connected these two up. This is the independent. Here's the master and here's the satellite. Could have just hit undone there. So now let's move to another way of inputting is just to draw boxes around things instead of clicking on the fixture. So you start the command and don't click an intersection and don't click anything, just click out here in space, and now it says, the command line says select the other corner. So I'm going to pick over here and it asks me a question. When there's only two fixtures, it's a stupid question, but it asks, you have to pick independent at this point. We should probably take that out, fix it. So you pick independent and they're connected up as independents. Start the command again and draw it around four fixtures. Now it's more meaningful. Let's pick independent just so we see what it looks like. They're independents. Now let's pick master satellite. so we see what those look like. And see, they got whipped together all in a row. Okay, I'm going to hit undo and show you what happens if you hit 3. We got an error message. It says odd number of fixtures cannot be connected. And it connected up one of them and then left the other one out. And let's do it around 5. Independent. Get the error message. It connected up 2 of them, left the other one out. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit here. I have a little bit of a fixture grid here. 5 fixtures by 5 fixtures deep. So let's start doing this. I selected up here and down here, and it drew these in, connected up independents, and then drew that down the backbone. Now, if I didn't want that backbone drawn on there, I could hit undo right now and it would take it away and leave just the connections, and I could connect them up in a different way, or I could hit undo again and it's all gone again. I kind of jumped ahead of there a little bit. Let me show you something else. Right now I can pick these 4 and the backbone gets drawn horizontally. Okay, let me undo that and undo that, and now let me start it again and pick the same 4 fixtures, and I just got the backbone drawn vertically. So what was the difference? Remember, there's not a dialog box on this command. It's just how you pick, the order that you pick, and in this case, where you pick. Let me pan so I center the fixtures and zoom in a little bit so we can all see clearly, and I'll take the mystery out of it. If I pick out here close to the y-axis of that and pick out to here, can you see that the rectangle I've drawn is got a longer horizontal side to it than it has a vertical side? That's the way to think of it. Which in the rectangular box, which side is the longest, the horizontal or the vertical? That's the direction of the backbone. So right now I'm going to click on the screen, and I got a horizontal backbone between boxes. Okay, and I do it again, and this time I click like this, and you can see that I haven't changed much. I've moved my pick point within 4 feet of where I did before, but you can clearly see here that the vertical line is longer than the other one, and so my backbone between boxes is going to be vertical. Okay, there we go. Let me go back to centering again. Okay, now let's do this. Let's do a vertical backbone and pick 3 fixtures. 5 fixtures in one direction and 3 fixtures in the other. How's it going to handle that? Okay, you pick that, and now it's asking a question. It says, where should the J box between the master satellite pair and the independent be? And it gives you a graphical representation, a highlighted red line and a highlighted green line. Let's go ahead and pick the green line over here. And you'll see that it put the master satellite pair on the left and the independents on the right. Now, if you were really doing this, you could come down here and erase that one and this one, for instance, and then come up to the ribbon and select the fixture whip master satellite pair and connect these up. Now the program, there's no way for us to program that, so you can't do that automatically. You just have to come back in and do that manually. So in this configuration, this one down here becomes the only independent out of these. Let me undo. Okay, and do it again, the exact same thing. This time I'll pick the red line. And you see that the master satellites got put on the right and the independent got put on the left with the boxes down. Okay, so now let's start again. Join fixture whips. And this time let's do 5 across and 4 the other way. Let's come like this. And see, it didn't ask me a question that time. It just drew everything up. It knew what I meant and drew master satellite pairs. Drew the dropped the boxes halfway down the middle, wired them all up, and you're done. Let's undo that. Undo that. Now we're back to the starting point, and we're just about all described out on this command already. Let's go into customization of it. Options. And I'm going to cover customization in a separate video entirely, but let's change the width to 0 so that everybody's happy about getting the width out. That bothers some people. You don't have to have the width, it's just how we draw here. The arc radius for whips, let's change the length first. Default is set to 24. I think when I want it to be 1, I think I've gone as high as 500 if I remember correctly. Let's just close and see if that works right. Join fixture whips, let's draw 4. Oh, look at that, I got an F all the way out there. Oh. Okay, well, if you're not going to have it come back and forth, you probably need to take that F out. So that was kind of a mistake there. See this place F and whip? Just take that out and hit close and then do it again. Oh, and the width didn't go to 0. Here's something that has to happen. The draw status over here, it didn't get initialized after the options box. I should probably program that in there. Click on the in, click on something that is already drawn. You can see it changing the width to 0. Okay, so the next time we draw, it'll be 0. So let's do it again. There. Now everything's 0. The master satellite whip doesn't, none of the whips go back and forth. They just get drawn in arcs. Now you have this arc that comes all the way out to here. Let's see if we can change that so that it doesn't go out as far. Whoops. Go to options. Arc radius for whips. Let's change that to 50. And the defaults are all listed right here. Did I mention that already? So if you get off and want to go back, you know that that one was an 85. So close that. I should have done undone first. Now I have to go back and erase. So let's try it again and see. Oh, do I have to hit draw status? Not sure. Start the command, draw the box, and see how they don't come out as far as they did. The angle that it comes out to is a lot less, so you get a lot more gradual of a whip here. Let's see, what else can we control? Let me do undo now. Go into options, hit next right here, and you can see that you have control over layer names and colors. So let's change the new color to yellow. Let's just do yellow. Make sure it gets initialized. Click on something. So now all these light fixtures are now yellow because they got changed. They are new, and now you draw and everything is yellow. Let's see what else we can control. The whip line type, let's change to hidden 2. And the whip that it was referring to was the master satellite whip. So you still have this out there as continuous, and the master satellite whip is the hidden 2. Let's see, what else can we control? Let's do a radius override. So the name of these fixtures is, let's do a list on it and take a look. It's 2x4 is the name of the fixture. Radius override. So let's type in 2x4 into the block name. Let's do a capital X in case that matters. I'm not even sure myself. Let's change the radius to 9 and hit close. And then hit close on that. Now join fixture. Okay, now what did it do? Before, these lines were connecting right into this circle inside the fixture, and now they're not. They're all the way out here. So that radius override, there's a standard radius built into every fixture, and if you don't like it for some reason, the radius override is the way to do that, and everything has that. At least has that capability. Like for instance, right now if I went up to the ribbon and selected the fixture master slave whip, it gets drawn just like it has the same controls and same input as the join fixture whips command does. So let me erase that and show you something about the overrides. There's 2 overrides in there by default, the DWN and the duplex floor. Here's the reason for that. Here's a duplex floor right there, a floor duplex. You click on it, put it in there, and here's a downlight under other fixtures, recessed down. Okay, now our drafting standards here, I'll just use the conduit command. Our drafting standards here are that these conduits go to that outer circle and not to the inner circle. So that's just what we have here. If you took those radius overrides out, they probably would have snapped to the inner circle by default, just because that's where I picked, was in the middle of the device. But since our drafting standards say no, it's got to be to the outer circle, then we put in the radius overrides, and this is what we get, and that's how we get it. So everything can have a radius override to it, and if you want your fixtures to connect in such a way that it's not going to the little circle, in fact maybe you don't even have the little circle, that's a whole nother discussion. We'll go over that on the next command when we do fixture layouts. But all that is customizable. And I think I covered it all. So there's no dialog box. You just have to pay attention to the order and where you're picking. And let's talk about that for a second. Let's say everybody, the normal way of drawing this is to draw one line and then array it all the way down. And people ask me, well, why don't you just array? And we, it never works out. It's like you array something, you go down, and then 3 rows down, there's a column, and the fixture's in the way, and you have to erase the fixture. So I'm going to erase that fixture. And everything gets messed up at that point. And you wind up arraying something down, and then going down one row after the other and fixing something that's an overlap or this or that. And with the commands, it's a lot faster. So right now I've erased that fixture. Let's start the command and see what happens. Now here you see what happened. It said, okay, this one's the independent. No, actually that one's the satellite. This one's the master. The independent's all the way down, and you wouldn't want it to be like that. You'd want this to be the master satellite pair and that to be the independent. So the way to do this is to do an undo right now so that you get these backbones that are connecting up the junction boxes. You get those off and out of the way. So now they're gone, and you can erase and come in and erase those like that, and then put in your box first like that, and then do the command like this. And now this one is fixed. And then you do your conduit, come down the middle, use command line. There. So there, I think I've said everything I can about that. This is 2D electrical drafting. We hope it'll be available the first quarter of 2013, available through the application store at AutoDesk, we hope. We haven't even submitted it to them yet. Today's the 29th of December 2012, and this is what we're doing, and we hope to have it on their store, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your time. Be sure you check out our overview video that shows an entire lighting plan being done and power plan being done without a lot of explanation, but just shows us going through it. And then there's a narration of, in general, of how the program works and what we're doing. Thank you for your time. I'm back. Just for the sake of being thorough, I wanted to show one last thing. Here. No, what happened? Okay. Okay, so I went back, I started thinking about the customization that I did. I took out the F and I made this one long arc, but I wanted to show how you can mess around with the look of these things and make this tightened up real big and make it go way back and forth. Mechanical departments, we do mechanical also, and they actually have a routine similar to this, and this is the output of it, and that's a flex duct for them, but it could also be a flex connector for you. So there's an example of the control of the look that you have. And also it occurred to me that there was an error done, and I didn't really explain why or what happened, and for the sake of frequently asked questions, I thought I'd go back into that. So look at the options box, and what I did just now to make that really tight squiggly line was I took the arc length of whips from 24 down to 9, and I took the radius for whips from 85 up to 200. So let's put that back. I think I had 50 and 500 for the whip lengths. And I left the mistake that I made was I left the F in place. So let's do that on purpose and join up these three. Oops. Do it by click. Okay. So now here's the mistake. Here's the problem. Actually, for thoroughness, let's make it so it's not a mistake. Change that to 24 and this to 85. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now, if I click on this, and actually as I highlight over it, you can see that the F is also highlighted, and so is the other side. If I click on that, you can see AutoCAD draw a box right there. What's going on here? This is by default a group. The F, the whip is actually drawn the entire way, and then the F is placed, and then the whip is trimmed, and then they're grouped together so that if you're coming through and editing and you're erasing things, you can click on it one time and it's erased. If you don't do that, drafters with lower experience will you'll find random Fs floating throughout your project, and it's just a mess. So we group certain things, and this is one of them. Now the problem with leaving this F there when you have an arc that goes the whole way, you can't really do that. You have to take the F out and not put it in, because it didn't break. It drew the arc and then put the F in and didn't trim around the F because the whip was all the way out here. So now if I click on it, you could see that the group includes this junction box out here that isn't supposed to be a part of it. So if I want to erase the F, my junction box and everything goes with it. So you have to, if you're going to do just a whip over, you have to take that F out and not have it in there. And you can show your master satellite whip a different way by using the line type, which I don't know if I did covered that. So options, and here's the whip line type, and you could change it to anything. And if it's not in here, that means it's not loaded. So all you have to do is load it, and then it'll be here. That's how that works. So there, now I think I'm done. Thank you.